Does the thrill of sports betting outshine its potential devastating effects on young men? In the dynamic world of sports, where every play and every point can mean the difference between glory and defeat, a new game is being played. This game isn't being played on the field but in the minds and wallets of young men across the globe. It's the game of sports betting, a rapidly growing industry that's becoming as much a part of the sports culture as the sports themselves. The numbers paint a compelling picture. Millions of young men are now involved in sports betting, lured by the prospect of quick money and the adrenaline rush of a high-stakes gamble. We're talking about billions of dollars circulating in this industry, a figure that's been on a steady upward trajectory. The rise of online platforms has only fueled this trend, making sports betting more accessible than ever before. Gone are the days of shady bookmakers and smoke-filled rooms. Today, anyone with a smartphone and an internet connection can place a bet, anytime, anywhere. But as with any form of gambling, sports betting comes with its own set of risks and potential dangers. It's not just about losing money, though that's certainly a part of it. It's about the addictive nature of betting, the way it can consume a person's life, distort their priorities, and lead them down a path of financial ruin and emotional distress. There's also the question of integrity, both for the sports and the bettors. With so much money at stake, the temptation to manipulate outcomes can be overwhelming. This can undermine the very essence of sports, the thrill of competition, the unpredictability of the game, the joy of victory earned through hard work and skill. Have we ever paused to consider the long-term impact of this trend on our young men? As we revel in the excitement of the game and the allure of the bet, it's a question that demands our attention, because at the end of the day, the stakes are much higher than we might think. What drives the fascination and addiction to sports betting among young men? It's a question that has puzzled many, yet the answers may not be as elusive as they seem. Psychologists and addiction experts provide us with some insight into this growing issue. According to them, the psychological factors that make sports betting addictive are multifaceted and complex. It's not just about the allure of potentially winning big, there's more to it. For many young men, the thrill of the game plays a significant role. The adrenaline rush of predicting the outcome, the anticipation building up to the final whistle, and the exhilaration of a win. It's a potent mix that can be incredibly addictive. It's like a roller coaster ride that they can't get enough of, and sports betting provides a ticket to ride over and over again. Then there's the lure of quick money. In an age where instant gratification is the norm, the prospect of making a quick buck can be very enticing. Sports betting often presents itself as an easy way to turn a small amount into a fortune. And for young men struggling with financial pressures or aspirations of wealth, this can be a powerful motivator. We can't forget the impact of peer influence either. Social scientists argue that the social aspect of sports betting is a key factor in its addictive nature. Young men are often introduced to sports betting through friends or peers, creating a shared experience that can strengthen social bonds. Yet, this camaraderie can also lead to a normalization of betting behavior, making it harder for individuals to recognize when their betting habits become problematic. So, what we're dealing with here is not just a simple pastime, it's a concoction of psychological triggers, the thrill, the money, the social aspect, all woven together to create a powerful allure that many young men find hard to resist. It appears that sports betting is more than just a game, it's a complex web of psychological triggers. What are the real-life consequences of sports betting addiction among young men? As we delve deeper into the repercussions of sports betting addiction, we find a narrative filled with stories of young men who have lost more than just their financial stability. Their tales are a grim testament to the havoc this addiction can wreak on mental health, relationships, and future prospects. Let's take a moment to tell the story of John, a promising young man who had dreams of becoming a lawyer. His addiction to sports betting started off as a harmless hobby, a thrill that came with every win. However, the harmless hobby quickly spun out of control, leaving him in a whirlpool of debt and despair. His dreams of law school were replaced by sleepless nights worrying about his escalating debts. Then there's the story of Michael, an ambitious entrepreneur who fell into the trap of sports betting. The addiction cost him his business, strained his relationships, and led him down a path of depression. The constant stress and pressure to win back his losses took a severe toll on his mental health. These stories are not isolated incidents, but rather a reflection of the widespread devastation caused by sports betting addiction. Financial advisors warn of the potential long-term damage. They talk about the spiraling debts, the inability to secure loans for important life milestones, and the strain on personal and professional relationships. Mental health experts echo these concerns. They highlight how the constant stress, anxiety, and the relentless pursuit of the next big win can lead to serious mental health issues. They stress that the addiction can result in feelings of isolation, depression, and in severe cases, even suicidal thoughts. These stories paint a grim picture of the real cost of sports betting addiction. It's not just about the money lost, but also the dreams shattered, the relationships strained, and the mental health compromised. It's about the life opportunities missed and the potential unfulfilled. The cost of sports betting addiction goes far beyond a depleted bank account. It's a heavy price to pay, a cost that extends to every aspect of a young man's life. How can we turn the tide and help our young men escape the clutches of sports betting addiction? The way forward is paved with education, regulation, and support. Let's start with education. Knowledge is power, and a proper understanding of the risks involved in sports betting is a crucial first step. Schools, colleges, and communities need to take the lead in imparting this knowledge, ensuring that young men are aware of the potential pitfalls. Next, regulation. Governments and sports organizations should enforce stricter rules on sports betting, limiting access and making it less appealing to the young and impressionable. Finally, support. Those caught in the web of betting addiction need a safety net. This could be in the form of counseling services, rehab programs, or simply a non-judgmental ear to listen. Every one of us has a role to play. Talk about it. Advocate for change. Support initiatives that help those affected. Spread the word, make a difference. Our young men's futures are worth more than a quick bet.